Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Cardconomist video. Today, you're getting one that I've worked on for a while. It's called the Cardconomist Report. In the Cardconomist Report, we're going to be tracking prices of expensive Pokemon card items over time, and we're going to use this information to try and locate items that are underpriced, or we want to understand how things are changing in price over time so we know how to feel about the hobby. And this is just the first video of many videos. It might be monthly or bi-monthly how often I post this, but this is basically my job, is to understand things that are changing in price. So we're going to take some of the key components of the hobby and just watch their prices to make sure that the hobby is doing well. And it is. And I'm going to show you that, but we're also going to see stuff like how modern's changing and stuff like that. Are you ready? So I've been talking about making this video for a while. My original goal was going to be high production value. It's going to be so good. It's going to be edited. There's going to be like text at the top of the screen, like part 1, part 2, part 3. There was going to be like an intro. I don't have time for that. I'm so sorry. Maybe I make Mike's side work on it someday. And Mike's side, if he has to work on it, it will be a doozy. Mike's side, it'll be like an 8-hour project. But for now, we're going to do a one-take recording. You guys just enjoy listening to me talk, so it's good enough, right? You can hear me, turn me on in the background, turn me on your Walkman, your iPhone. Go for a walk and listen to me talk about prices and all that if you want. If you want to get through the video very quickly and it's too long, you can increase the speed of it. But keep a tab on me, because we're going to be posting this video frequently, and it's going to give you a lot of valuable information that will make you a better Pokemon card collector. But it'll also help you formulate this concept of understanding how to look at a market maybe. So we're going to start out by talking about how the lists work. We got 3 pages: booster box prices, chase card prices, and the top July sales. That's right. The report was put together at the end of July, about July 29th. So maybe about 10 days ago, less than 10 days ago, this was put together. We're now posting it in August. It's going to be the same deal. We're going to gather information at the end of August, and it looks kind of like this. This is July, and what you're looking at are all the prices of the booster boxes in the cheapest buy it now price form. I like cheapest buy it now price form. Why? Because you can just walk up and buy it, and it's the cheapest one. And so sometimes people complain, yeah, but cheapest buy now price could be anything. That's not true. Buy now price can be anything when you're the only one selling it. Then it can be anything. So like base set first edition box, 260,000. Oh, maybe that's too high. Yeah, but maybe he's the only one selling it and it is too high. But at the same time, we can kind of discern if it makes sense. There reaches a point where an item is so rare where the seller kind of just sets the price. The other thing we could be doing is we could only be going off of sold prices. But in my opinion, yesterday's prices are not today's prices. Just because a box sold real cheap on a Tuesday at 12 a.m. in the morning for cheaper than the cheapest buy now price doesn't mean that you can then go back to the market and you yourself get that price on that item. That item is now gone off the market. It's gone. So yesterday's prices are not today's prices. And it's useful sometimes to have this old data information as well, and to put it next to the cheapest buy now prices. I just don't have time for that. Maybe in the future we could do that. If somebody wanted to help me compile a list like that so that this doesn't take me 10 hours to work on every time, maybe we can gather that information. I will point out, though, if we have both the sold and the cheapest buy now prices together, it's just going to be a doozy going through that information. It'll take forever, man. But I don't know. Maybe that's what you guys want. I know they do that for gold. So gold has yesterday's prices and today's prices. That's the seller and the buyer price. Let's get started. Get out of here. Dell Digital Delivery. So base set box, $250,000. Cheap. I could buy one today. No. Unlimited green wings, 17,000. Unlimited blue wings, 17,000. Double check and see if I got that wrong, because I could not find a blue wing box. Here's a fossil box going for 13,000. Jungle box goes for 15. That surprises me. Rocket box going for 15. That also surprises me. So Rocket kind of expensive, and Jungle kind of cheap. That's the way I'm looking at that. Because when we go over to chase cards here, here it is. So Dragonite's only like 4,800 from Fossil. So Fossil at 13 is kind of high. Jungle Snorlax going for 13. That's really expensive. So Jungle generally has always been more expensive than the other 2 boxes, Fossil and Team Rocket. And yeah, I don't know. It's just cheaper right now. Team Rocket First Edition Dark Magneton at 10,000. That's the chase. Oh, look at the chase cards in a minute. So we got base set 2, 9,000. What a terrible set. I hate base set 2. By the way, the Charizard never grades 10, and I just think it's such an ugly set. I do not like trying to sell base set 2 cards. They do not sell. It's almost like you have like unlimited base set, right? and those are hard enough to sell on their own. Well, this set specifically tells you it's unlimited, unlimited. It's base set 2. We're worse than unlimited. So I don't like base set 2 at all, and it's no surprise to see it goes for less than $10,000. It's the only box on this list from the WotC era that goes for less than $10,000 at this point. Gym Heroes at $20,000, sitting pretty. Gym Challenge at $19,000. What's going on with that? So maybe Gym Heroes is more rare than we thought, or nobody wants to sell their Gym Heroes. I don't know. But actually, you also find that the Gym Hero chase cards go for quite a lot of money. They are not cheap. Did you know that? Like the Gym Heroes Moltres and the Gym Heroes Sabrina's Gengar Hollow are actually quite expensive and hard to grade. Gym Challenge going for $19,000. I would not mind scooping up another box of that. It contains the Blaine's Charizard, but so many other good cards. But yeah, Blaine's Charizard's in there. Erica's Venusaur, I think, is in there. Blaine's Arcanine's in there. Yeah, there's like a bazillion good cards in Gym Challenge First Edition. One of my favorite sets. Neo Genesis, suddenly there's a big price increase. At $57,000, that is the box you can pull the First Edition Lugia out of. Neo Genesis Lugia First Edition, $57K. Wow. And so many others, by the way, like the Typhlosion and Slowking and Heracross and all that other great stuff. There's a lot of cards from this set that are extremely low pop. That's what you need to take away from this. Neo Discovery, kind of the same deal. That set is quite a bit cheaper, or it's got like Magnemite in it, Magneton, but actually it also has Umbreon and Espeon. And that Umbreon is very expensive. And so is the Espeon. It's pretty not affordable, pretty cheap. Pretty not cheap. Neo Revelations at $50,000. That's the Ho-Oh set. It also contains the legendary cats, because they're not legendary dogs, by the way. You guys somehow got it in your minds that Suicune, Entei, and Raikou were dogs. They are actually cats. The artist confirmed they are designed based on cats. Neo Revelation is the cat set, and it sits pretty at $50,000. Very expensive. It is the first set to introduce the Shining Pokemon, Magikarp and Gyarados. That is part of why the price is so high. The Neo Destiny is the Shining Pokemon collection with Shining Tyranitar and Shining Mewtwo and Shining Charizard in it. Absolutely gorgeous set. Been opened to death. It is now $70,000. That is the last set I collected as a kid. I stopped collecting at that point after collecting the Shining Kabutops. And yeah, it was a really cool set. $70,000 though. I mean, holy Jesus, man. That is so expensive at that point. Is it even worth opening? Because the Charizard in the set only goes for like $12K. Legendary Collection, also one of my favorites. I did not collect this when I was a kid. I do remember it being on the shelves at the store and not buying it. And I wish I had, perhaps. No, it wouldn't have mattered because all my cards got lost. But that contains the Reverse Hollow, Fireworks Hollow Charizard in it. Love that card. Definitely one of the unsung heroes of the Pokemon collectibles hobby, because it has the original Charizard artwork, but one of the absolutely most fantastic holographic designs to it ever. So I love Legendary Collection. That set, when it comes to PSA slaps, that set has done so well for me over time, and I continue to want to buy them and hold them. But that set's one of the most expensive WotC Euro boxes, tying with Sky Ridge, $80,000. $84,000. Expedition at $50,000. This set is interesting. It has a lot of great pulls in it, including the very rare Mew, but it also has Charizard, Blastoise, Feraligatr, Venusaur, Typhlosion more than once, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, Expedition. A lot of people didn't collect Expedition, Aquapolis, and Sky Ridge because they were done collecting by then. And that includes me. So collecting them is kind of like collecting a brand new set that I've never opened before. The problem is they're really low pop and they're really expensive already, so I just kind of don't get around to it too fast. But they were introduced during the e-reader series when your Game Boy could have this little component. It was called an e-reader, and you took your Pokemon card and you could swipe it through the e-reader and play a little game as a result, right? I also did not have an e-reader, so I couldn't tell you about that experience. Aquapolis's main pull is the Lugia, $55,000. Really great set, full of lots of really good cards, and then Sky Ridge takes the cake with the Sky Ridge Crystal Charizard, one of the best cards in the WotC era. I've heard people complain that he's ugly. How can you say that? He's like one of the best looking Charizards. It's amazing seeing the whole like crystal design on him. Reminds me of what they would have later with Delta Species. And I would love to have all the crystal Pokemon. Right now, I do have the Crystal Lugia, Crystal Ho-Oh, and Crystal Charizard. So for me, it's just a matter of collecting the rest of them when I feel like it, but I've already got the best ones. So I'm not worried about them anymore. Yeah, the crystal Pokemon, they remind me of the Shining Pokemon from the Neo era. The e-reader era has these crystal Pokemon, and they're so cool. Really expensive. So that's WotC era, and these are the highest prices in the whole hobby. They're also the oldest, so it makes perfect sense. Now we have Ruby Sapphire era. This is going to be Ruby Sapphire Gen 3. And some people argue this is the least printed set. The Wizard of the Coast, WotC, that company no longer was printing Pokemon. The license reverted back to Pokemon. And some of these boxes, you see a fluctuation in prices. So the base set, 18,000. Sandstorm, very cheap, 17,000. Dragon, 31,000. I don't even understand that one. Magma Aqua, 14. Hidden Legends, 14. Fire Red, 31. A Charizard set. Look at that. The Team Rocket Return set, 40,000. What's going on there? So the Ruby Sapphire era, Gen 3, is the Gold Star era. That's the special gimmick in that time period. You had these cards that were super rare. They didn't show up in every box. They were called Gold Star cards. And anytime one of these booster boxes contains a Gold Star in it, the price is higher. Excuse me. But also, one of the most expensive Gold Stars is the Torchic Gold Star. That one, along with the Rayquaza, are two of the most expensive Gold Star cards in the world. So you see Rocket Returns at 40 and Deoxys at 61. It makes perfect sense. And, in the future, we're going to have, again, prices from August, so we'll be able to track these over time. But it's cool to see how expensive these boxes have gotten so quickly, because when I started 5 years ago, these were quite a bit cheaper, because I was looking at the whole Pokemon card hobby, and I didn't understand what many of these were even at that time. But what happened was the Logan Paul effect happened. All the WotC era boxes exploded, but everything else kind of lagged and then exploded. Emerald, very cool set. We got Unseen Forces, Delta Species. Love Delta Species. Legend Maker, Holland Phantoms, Crystal Guardians, Dragon Frontiers at 50. That's actually the Gold Star Charizard set. I own the Gold Star Charizard as well. Now I just need the Rayquaza, really, but I don't really want him is the problem. And then you got Power Keepers at 18,000. Okay, you got Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, right? So this is Gen 4. What stands out? Legends Awakened and Majestic Dawn stand out. And let's take a quick look at that. I'm curious. Legends Awakened, Majestic Dawn. So no information on this Leafeon. Legends Awaken is Mewtwo level X at 2,000. That does not actually look that good. Why are those so expensive? Stormfront is 9.5. I think that's a Charizard in Stormfront. Yeah, Charizard Hollow has it's the old Arita artwork, and I think he redrew it or something like that. I don't know. It looks kind of weird. It's got the Uncanny Valley feeling to it, in my opinion. Platinum Series has Platinum Base, Rising Rival 7.5. I have a box of that. Supreme Victors 8.5 and Arceus 8.5. So these sets, they're all pretty unaffordable. What's so curious about that price? This is like the prices of the vintage boxes just around the time that Logan Paul did his box break, and then they all started to get even more expensive. So prices have really exploded in Pokemon, man. People love opening Pokemon cards. Holy Christ, man. These prices are just so high. We jump over to Heart Gold, Soul Silver. The Heart Gold base, 9,000. Unleashed, 5. Undaunted, 10. Triumphant, 4. Call of Legends. That's not really Heart Gold, Soul Silver. It's kind of like a standalone set, but I just tossed it in there. 18,000. It has a bunch of shiny legendary Pokemon. That's why, if you need to know. Really great set. We need to do a box break of that sometime. Black and White series, the prices come down. Whew. Holy moly. Let's say you wanted to buy each one of these right now. $36,000 would buy you all of the Black and White series booster boxes. By the way, let's do that up here. That'll be fun. Okay, you ready? You want a box of each one of these? Get ready. Hold your pee-pee. Oh my God, it's almost $1 million. Look at that, 861,000 to buy each one of those. Almost $1 million. But really, it's only 1 million. So there's guys out there with like $100 million. They could buy the whole thing in like that. You know what I mean? Shows you how much the Pokemon cards have the ability to raise if they really want to do. But what we see here, a really expensive Plasma Storm. That's going to be the Shining Charizard set. That's why. So that's a Shining Charizard set, and it's much more expensive as a result. And the rest of these are all pretty close. What's Dark Explorer? So let's check that out real fast. Chase card, Dark Explorer. Wait, am I looking in the wrong spot? Here we are. Groudon? Oh, no information. 2,000, huh? Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. XY series. So XY series is actually where I start investing my money. Black and White, you could go after these older eras, but my gamble is that because the XY series is still so affordable to the common man, it has plenty of room to reach that $1,000 price point. which it already has. So XY base set 1.2 makes no sense because the best card is like Blastoise, in my opinion. Flash Fire 3.4. It's a Charizard set. It's okay. I'm not a big fan of Flash Fire. I think those Charizards are kind of ugly, to tell you the truth, except for the Full Art Charizard. And I feel like the problem with Flash Fire, it almost suffers from like Charizard inflation. You ever heard of that? It's a term I use. Charizard inflation. There's too many Charizards. So the set, people brag about how it has a lot of Charizards. For me, it almost detracts from it though. Like, yeah, there's too many Charizards. Like, which one am I supposed to collect? They all look the same. You know, they're all various versions of the same goofy looking Charizard. So the only one that really stands out to me is the Full Art Charizard. And yeah, it's expensive. Might as well just go buy the Charizard. Furious Fist, just an older rare box, 1.1 thousand. It's got a Lucario in it. You can't even find it for sale. This one stands out. So Phantom Forces stands out to me. $2,000 appears to be expensive until you realize that the Dialga from the set is like a $7,000 card. And it's never really fallen in price. Nobody wants to give up their Dialga because it's like top 50. It looks amazing. It's silver. Here, I'll show you real fast. Oops. XY Dialga Phantoms. Wait, I think we just have to say Phantom. All right, here we are. 6.5 thousand. Is that the? I don't know if that's the price we had, but 6.5. And do any of them talk about the population on it? Look at this card. Very unique card. Very unique. See that? Look at that etching. Oh my God. Look at that. My Diglett's about to use Earthquake, man. Very pretty. I want to own one. I don't own one, and I want to own one. He took a very good picture there. $6.5 thousand or 6.6. Bit expensive, don't you think? But the booster box comes out as 2.1, and the question then is how often does it pull? How often does it grade? And that's another piece of information we could store on our Cardconomist report list. Primal Clash, $500, underpriced in my opinion. That box should be closer to about $900, in my opinion. Primal Clash, there's three sets to watch here. So you got Primal Clash, Roaring Sky, Ancient Origin. They're three boxes. They're part of a Ancient Trait card series where there's like these bonus full art cards in the set that can be hollow, reverse hollow, or non-hollow. And those cards add so much to their sets that they're in that I truly feel that they're the best boxes to open in the XY series right now, other than maybe like Phantom Forces because you're chasing after the Dialga. And so I don't understand how those both Primal Clash and Roaring Skies are so cheap at $550 and $600. I feel they should actually be quite a bit more expensive. Not only that, but Roaring Skies is a Rayquaza set with a really hot pull in it. So this is my favorite box in the XY era. So I can't talk as much about the other sets because we don't open them a ton. We open up a lot of XY over time. And my feelings tell me Primal Clash and Roaring Skies are actually underpriced, but Roaring Skies even more so. That's why it's back on the menu, baby. So Roaring Skies is back on our live stream menu, and I hope people pull that Rayquaza, and I'll keep buying boxes of it because it's well priced. Ancient Origins at 1,000. It's got a full art Lugia in it. Enough said. Lugia is really great, but it's also got a golden Rayquaza, Mega Rayquaza, and it's got Groudon. So Ancient Origins at 1,000, it makes sense, and it's a very good set, and it's got all of those Ancient Trait cards in it too, right? Like, it has one of the best ones. It has the Gyarados Ancient Trait card in it, and it's just so fantastic looking. I mean, if we look it up real fast, since I have you guys here, so we'll look it up. Ancient Origins Gyarados, such a good card. Here it is. Oh, by the way, this is cool too. By the way, the staff pre-release, they want 7K for that. I don't know about that. So check this bad boy out. Yeah, boy. Look at this. So pretty, man. One watch. I wouldn't buy it right now. There's still many more of these to open. If the booster box is only $1,000, there's still many more of these to open. But yeah, Ancient Origin, great. Breakthrough is a Mewtwo set. It's okay. It's also got Houndoom and Glalie in it, I believe. It's okay. 765. I don't know why you would open that rather than Primal Clash or Roaring Skies. And then Breakpoint at 615. It's okay. It's a Shining Gyarados set, so I like Gyarados. But if you don't like Gyarados, you're not going to like it. Generations at 1.62. It's got a lot of really interesting artworks in it. It's got a lot of gradable holographic cards in it. By the way, I believe this is supposed to read like this. Times 36 pieces. Yes. Oh, we missed Double Crisis, by the way. Double Crisis. Look at this. The most expensive box in the XY era is Double Crisis. You have to put together 36 packs of it. There is no booster box, and it's some unreasonable 2.7 thousand. Do not open this set. The chase card in Double Crisis is what? Team Magma's Groudon, not available. $2,000 for it, though, which is kind of decent, but still, it's like, man, it's a very small set, and the Groudon, in my opinion, just looks okay. My opinion. Here's Generations, 1.6 thousand, very expensive. Fates Collide has a really nice Alakazam, Lugia, Umbreon gold card. They're all on the one card. It's pretty fascinating. And I like Fates Collide. I got nothing against it. I think it's a pretty good set, but nobody buys it for some reason. It's like they can't be convinced to buy it. But this set, Fates Collide, also has a full art Umbreon in it, so $500 might be pretty good for that set. Steam Siege, $357. What can I say? It's the cheapest set. Oops. Something just sold. So it's the cheapest set, Steam Sieges, and well, it contains a golden Gardevoir in it. It also has golden Volcanion. He is not a popular Pokemon. But other than that, it's known as being a Steelix set. So if you love Steelix, you love Steam Siege, but you probably already collected the Steelix out of the set for nothing because he's cheap in that set. The other thing, I wish that Steelix had been golden in that set. The other thing I'd point out, it's got some surprising support cards that nobody really talks about. It's in the common and commons, the reverse hollows and the hollows. Steam Siege actually has shining Pokemon as common and commons, and they're pretty cool looking, like shiny Volcarona, Volcanion. No, Volcarona, I said that right. And yeah, you forget about those because you can grade those and actually sell them for like $100 almost. And with the box only costing $357, you get like a 30-year value back off of one shining Pokemon. Bisharp's shiny in there as well. There's another one. I can't remember what it is. Evolutions at only $695. So it's really not that far away in price from like Breakthrough and Roaring Skies. Makes you realize it's somewhat reasonably priced for the XY era because everything's gotten so expensive in there. Used to be the case that Evolutions was like $600 and everything else was like $200 cheaper than that. Now, everything in that era has gone way up, and Evolutions is stuck at $700. So people kind of slowed down on that set, but they were going crazy back in the day when it was $135. Like 3 or 4 years ago, this booster box, Evolutions, was a $100 booster box, guys. And I was selling bonkers amounts of it. And now it's $700. So it's a big success story for anyone who stored their money in Evolutions as a collectible. Everyone wanted it. And so it was a great collectible to hold. And the future for it, I think, is still pretty good because people love to open it. It's got a chance for that fun Charizard to pop out. And if he grades 10, he goes for like $2,000 roughly. So he's still pretty fun, but he's hard to grade 10. Sun and Moon. So Sun and Moon is fun to talk about because when I got back into the hobby in about 2019, it was Sun and Moon era. So, and my wife played the Sun and Moon game. I was watching her play. So we got Sun and Moon base at $250. I believe that makes it the cheapest. No. Crimson's the cheapest. Sun and Moon base set's the second cheapest set on the list in the Sun and Moon era. And what's really fascinating about it is it has this really expensive Lily in it that's like twice the cost of the booster box. So you're supposed to be opening that one, especially if you like Lily, but nobody really does. We got Guardian Rising. It's like a Sylveon set. There's a girl in it. I don't remember her name. So the girl in it, I don't like it. Burning Shadows, very cheap, $400. So Burning Shadows is interesting to talk about. It's got the Rainbow Charizard in it, and it is the best modern Charizard from Sun and Moon era, and probably still better than a lot of the other Charizards from like Sword and Shield and stuff like that. So he's one of the most collectible Charizards in the hobby from the modern time period. What is going on with the box price of only $400? What is going on? Why is it so cheap? How can you have a $3,000 Charizard in a $400 box? Because when you open this booster box, all the cards that you want to grade are ungradable. They have a cutting error on the edge of the card, like a serrated problem. And this was just some sort of print error. Maybe they had the wrong blades or something, or they were dull. I don't know. But there's no point in opening Burning Shadows because you'll never get a 10 on those cards. Only the first print run appeared to have been cut properly, and so you were able to grade 10s from the first print run. And so the population of the Charizard remains under 1,000, if I recall. And for a modern set, that's really low. Shining Legends is nice. It's got the alternative art test tube Mewtwo. I sold my... Oh, am I saying that right? Yeah, Shining Legends. I sold mine, and it wasn't a terrible choice, especially considering I probably did something productive with that money. But he's going back up in price, so I'm eyeballing him, going, "Ooh, I want that one because he's cool." Crimson Invasion, one of the cheapest cards, cheapest. It is the cheapest box in the Sun and Moon era. Got a great Gyarados in it, but more importantly, Crimson Invasion actually has 2 girl cards in it that actually go for both of them like a decent chunk of money. So Crimson Invasion, it makes no sense that people aren't opening it. It's affordable and it offers good rewards. Ultra Prism is also kind of affordable at $600 a box. It's okay. It's expensive, but this is the best Lily set, with the Lily card in that set being like 1,500 or 1,900. It's really expensive. You got Forbidden Light. That's a Greninja set. Celestial Storm, 580. I know it's a Rayquaza set. I've had that Rayquaza. He looks okay. I think there's a girl card that's the best-selling card in that set now. Dragon Majesty, terribly overpriced. Never buy Dragon Majesty. 1.3 thousand. It's like more like 1.4. And I think his best card is a girl card that goes for like 300. Never buy this. Lost Thunder at 500 is just about right. There's a Rainbow Lugia that goes for about 500. Team Up at 1.6. People are going crazy for Team Up. There's a lot of cool alternative arts coming out of it, like the Gengar Mimikyu and the Latios. I personally feel it's pretty expensive because I know that if you don't hit those cards, you're going to lose all that money because it's got a lot of bad cards in it. So you don't talk about that. When a set has a great chase pull, you also have to consider if it has a lot of stinky support cards that you will not make your money back on. So a good example of a set that does not have that problem is Evolving Skies. If you don't pull Umbreon Alt VMAX, there's all these other cards you can pull. But in Team Up, you really don't have as many great options in there, in my opinion. You got there's like Blacephalon, for example. Is Blacephalon? No. He's Lost Thunder. Am I thinking of Team Up wrong? Maybe I'm thinking of Team Up wrong, guys. It's been a while. I'm getting old. I don't want to hear about it. Detective Pikachu packs are 36 loose packs you have to put together for $333. Never open that. The Chase Pull is a Charizard that goes for like $60. He's terrible. Unbroken Bonds is the Charizard Reshiram set. I can't remember a lot of the other cards in that, even though we've opened so much of it. I know there's like an alternative art Machamp and Marshadow in the set, but I never get excited for Unbroken. Unified Minds is $614. That is a Misty card set, so Misty's favors in there, very cute. It's also a Mewtwo Mew set, but it's just okay. It's going to be a Rainbow Rare, and it's just selling for a couple hundred. Hidden Fates, $619. Surprisingly affordable because they printed that crap into the ground. They printed so much Hidden Fates. It's impressive that it's even costing $619. But, I mean, look at it. It's a special set, and it's somewhat affordable, which tells you just how much they printed it. It's sad. One of the coolest Charizards, something that helped set off the Pokemon collecting craze, was the SV49 Shining Charizard. And they printed so much of it, he's hardly a collectible anymore. I have a perfect grade on one, so I like that at least. But yeah, he's tough, man. Cosmic Eclipse at $870. Great set. Contains girl cards. Contains a Charizard. It contains Arceus, Dialga, Palkia. It's such a great finishing set for the Sun and Moon era. I own whole cases of those because I predicted that it would be super popular. Similar to Evolving Skies, Cosmic is full of so many chase cards. Really a joy to open, and it's got great alternative arts and everything. I mean, there's just so many ways for you to make your money back in that set. It's got the trainer gallery cards like Red's Pikachu. Yeah, I love it. Sword and Shield is next, and now you see some really cheap prices. You can get every box in Sword and Shield for just $3,160. Really not expensive to own the entire set of Sword and Shield and put it in a closet. But you wouldn't want to own every box in this set. Let's talk about it. Sword and Shield base and Rebel Clash, they reached into the 200s. They've really not changed in price over time all that much. There was a point where Sword and Shield doubled in price and Rebel Clash did too. And since then, they have not changed a lot. And it's not hard to see why. There's a bazillion in the population for both of those sets. And I think we're reaching the modern junk era with Sword and Shield. See, the explosion occurred with Hidden Face. That was the explosion. Hidden Face with the explosion. Now we jump into this era, Sword and Shield, and this is really where the overprinting takes off. We get Darkness Ablaze stuck at 144. That set's old. You realize that? Darkness Ablaze is a couple years old. 144. That's it. The chase card's a $90 card. Damn, dude. That's nothing. Why even call it a collectible? You might as well just call it cardboard. Champion's Path, surprisingly, 345, one of the most expensive sets. Absolutely do not buy this. Champion's Path, there's like 14,000 of those Charizards. Vivid Voltage, 121. When Vivid Voltage came out, it was a $400 booster box. You could not get Vivid Voltage. People were like putting tracking devices on the cars of the people, on the vehicles of the people who stocked the shelves at Walmart. The desperation between Champion's Path and Vivid Voltage, the desperation to get Pokemon cards during that time period was so bonkers, dude. It was so crazy. Every card bro was out ready to scalp in full force. I'm going to scout Walmart. I'm going to make so much money in the Pokemon card hobby. And it was just the levels of greed. I mean, the levels of greed are still high, but the levels of greed at that point were just like shocking, dude. It was the first time that you felt maybe like a Pokemon card mania, and you had like, like Target and Walmart saying, we don't sell cards anymore. It's locked up. One box per customer, right? That was the beginning of that. And, like people getting shot in the Walmart parking lot or some crazy stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's really wild. Now Vivid Voltage is 120 bucks. Nothing. Pokemon has proven that they can take your collectible and destroy it. Do you see? Now do you see? And so it's time to think very carefully about this hobby, because if it's not a collectible, do not store your money in it. So if you bought Vivid Voltage when it was $300 a box, you have now lost money in sealed product. Oh, but Cardconomist, you'll go up one day. Barely. Because the chase card is so hard to pull and not worth anything. Who wants to open it? That's another thing. So everyone thinks that you're really just supposed to collect sealed booster boxes, sealed product. No. Sealed product only has value when the cards inside have value. Don't you get it? If nobody wants to collect the slab from the box will not go up in price. So there's two parts of the slab equation. There's always two parts. There's two parts of the price equation. The booster box price and the graded 10 price. They're married to each other. You can't divorce them. If the Vivid Voltage top pull is a $10 card, that box will never go up in price because nobody wants to open it. There's no point. You have to understand that. You have to understand that's why Pokemon card prices went crazy in the first place. How's my camera doing? All right, good. So there's tons of card hobbies out there, but you know what? PSA 10s of My Little Pony don't sell for like PSA 10s of Pokemon. That's why Pokemon prices go up at the end of the day, because it's collectible, because people want to have all the Charizards, because when they show them off on the internet, they get millions of views. If that formula is ever not true, it's all over. The prices on the boxes will halt. The prices on the slabs will halt. So you have to understand that. And so this is dangerous territory for there to be a junk era at all for the Pokemon card hobby. And Pokemon, they're there to just make profits, but they have to be real careful with this, because right now we're experiencing kind of a slowdown in the Scarlet Violet era, which is very necessary. We need a slowdown so bad. But I think Pokemon might have gone too far. They might have overprinted. They might have hurt themselves. Battle Styles, 116. That's nothing. Alternative Art Booster Box. They introduced alternative arts into Sword and Shield again at this point. What do you have? Like Empoleon, Tyranitar, the Urshifus. You had a bunch of girls in this set. $116 a box. Chilling Reign, 144. That's Snorlax and Moltres and the birds. Evolving Skies is sort of like the shining hero of this era. It has so many good pulls in it, it cannot be stopped. I also believe that the gentleman who was stealing all the cards, remember in the news, he had like 1 million Umbreon alternative art VMAXs. He had to have stolen those during the packing process, and he has caused the price of the boxes to go up. So although he's a bad guy, and it was very illegal and very scummy of him to steal all those cards, he ironically kept the hobby rare, because it was likely Nintendo's intention for everyone to have access to those Umbreons very quickly and for them to not be so rare. So the fact that your Umbreon felt rare is a mistake. Don't you get it? Pokemon didn't intend that. Umbreon's unintentionally rare. He was not supposed to be so rare. That's huge. And when you look at the populations on this Evolving Skies Umbreon, it is not looking so good. Evolving Skies Umbreon. I said that this card was going to fall in price, and it instead went up in price. I said, I'm wrong. There's still time for it to fall in price. We're going to talk about that. It's not over, guys. All right, we want the, okay, VMAX, Full Art Umbreon VMAX Secret. Are we looking at this right? Here it is. Full Art Umbreon VMAX Secret. What the hell is this? 214. Oh, that's just a Full Art Rainbow, I think. And I think this is probably the alternative art. Is that correct? 7,808 of them graded. Whew. Oh, my. So not rare is the point. And I do believe that there's still time for that Umbreon alternative art VMAX to fall down in price. We have Celebrations at 231. Too easy to pull that Charizard. He should have been so much harder to pull. But it was a really small set. And similar to Pokemon Go set, I feel like Pokemon was just trying to find something to release because Pokemon was just on fire, dude. They're like, we gotta sell something. So they were just putting together any set that they could put together as fast as they could put it together. Celebrations is real small. Pokemon Go was even smaller. Here's Fusion Strike, great set. Umbreon, Espeon Alternative Art VMAX and Gengar VMAX and Mew all in the same set. Pretty decent, 134. Brilliant Stars is a Charizard set. I don't even like it. I think the Brilliant Stars Charizard alt is so ugly. Astral Radiance. What's the chase card in Astral? I don't even remember. Machamp V alt. That's easy to forget. Surprisingly goes for a lot of money. I don't know why. Pokemon Go, way too small of a set. Why even release it? But it has some nice looking cards. If you could pull like perfect versions of those cards, that'd be cool. Like perfect Radiant Charizard and perfect Alternative Art Mewtwo. Lost Origin, cheap, 135, has one of the most expensive cards in the set in the era. The Alternative Art Giratina, very popular with collectors. Silver Tempest, pretty cheap, has a Lugia in it, not so popular. And Crown Zenith at $234 is one of the more expensive sets in the Sword and Shield era. I give this set a 0 out of 10. I do not like Crown Zenith. Yes, it has the golden cards in it, but it is missing the Charizards, and I'm very bitter toward the Pokemon Company for removing those just so that it could sell it back to us as a promo. I think that that's very bad for the hobby. It destroys the whole point of the hobby, which is to open booster packs for the fun of the gamble, right? Because it's gambling. That's what we really do here. We gamble. And gambling's fun. That's why virtually everywhere they have to make laws making it illegal to gamble. So when it comes to collecting, every card set out there has a design where you open booster packs and hope you get lucky and open a really fun card. That's the design of every, card hobby. When Pokemon Company takes the best pulls out of a set, the Charizards, or close to the best pulls, and they turn them into a promo, they are destroying that set. And we have to find a way to speak up about it and not let them do it. It's so crappy. I don't want to buy it. I don't want to sell it. So I don't like Crown Zenith at all. But yeah, the gold cards are still kind of chill. Scarlet Violet, I didn't track this. I think in August I will. And then I decided to throw in Pokemon Tops. We saw a lot of Pokemon Tops. Listen, I feel like I helped start a trend on Pokemon Tops. Not a lot of YouTubers were talking about Pokemon Tops. I got guys who call me like the Pokemon Tops King before because I've talked about it so much and I've shown it off and I've opened so much of it. I have like 20 empty boxes of Top Series 1. When I started, Top Series 1 was like $400 a box. And people are telling me you're stupid for opening them. They're too sticky. Nobody wants them. But it turned out the stickiness is a gift. Don't you get it? Because when a card is sticky and it's hard to grade 10, the card set's really rare. So now you can chase after cards in the set where they have a very low chance at a 10. And if you actually pull a 10, you have a very rare card. So it turned out, perhaps counterintuitively, that consumers like the fact that it's hard to grade Top Series 1. And so we got Top Series 1, 2, 3, first movie. Let's talk about them. So you want Rainbow Top Series 1 Charizard to pop out, and he's really rather expensive, actually. Let's see. Rainbow Tops Charizard. Is this it? Oh, this is it. Look. So there it is. So this is from Top Series 1. Notice how there's no texturing to the card at all. This is a Top Series 1 Rainbow Charizard. They want $30,000. Obviously, that's too high. He doesn't even have any... if he wants to sell it, he better hire somebody to sell it for him because nobody... Well, actually, no, it's got authenticity guaranteed nowadays, don't they? So he should be all right. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy that. It's a bit expensive. But if you were to pull one of these, I would bet that his value is closer to probably $6,000. His asking price is a bit high. Let's see if there's any sold actually. No, of course not, because he's so incredible. He's so actually rare. He's incredibly rare. You have no clue how rare this is. So you have a real chase card in Top Series 1. And now it has gone from $400 a box to $1,700 a box. Guess who's sitting on a bunch of boxes of these? This guy. Same with Top Series 2. Same with Top First Movie. I bought a bunch of them. I bought like 5 each. And they've all like tripled. You know, it's one of my best performing steel products. People, when they speak badly about a steel product or a Pokemon card slab, I don't always think they understand what the market could be. And that's the magic of what I do is I don't look at how it is. I look at how it will be tomorrow and the possibilities. I ask a very important question. Is it beautiful? It has to be beautiful. So if a card is beautiful and rare, it can become popular. Not at first, but if a card is beautiful and rare, it can become popular. And if you're the one sitting on it, and now you're the one with the rare, popular, beautiful card that has shot up in price, triple in price. So I like First Movie a lot, by the way. See how it's $12.50? It contains Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, and Dragonite. It's actually in some ways better than the Top Series 1 set and yet cheaper. So, because when people see Top's First Movie, the outside of the box kind of depicts like a Mewtwo, and yes, Mewtwo is in there. But the real pulls are like this full art Charizard, full art Blastoise, full art Venusaur. It's got Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and then it's got Dragonite, Dratini, and Dragonair. Um, Outstanding set. I've sold so much Topps First Movie, and I really continue to enjoy it a lot. Still affordable at 1.25. Top Series 3, I believe that contains like the Birds, Snorlax, Scyther, like these Pokemon that didn't make it into Series 1 and 2. They're in Series 3. We've never opened it. It's like so much more expensive. And then why bother? Because we can pull Charizard out of these other sets. So I never offer it. Johto, I guess that's going to be, that's the later evolutions. And you have Tops, not the later, what am I trying to say? The later generation. So you have the Johto generation with whatever his name is, like Typhlosion. And then you have Topps Movie 2000. That's a set I paid a lot of attention to as well. So I identified that as a Lugia set, and it's very special because it has not only does it have multiple Lugias in the set, it has like these special first appearance cards that are like these super trippy. Maybe I can look them up for you. Hold on. Can you guys even see this? Here, let me roll this up. There we go. So, okay, hold on. PSA Topps first appearance. Did I spell that right? Lugia? Oops, Lugai. There it is. This very weird card, which is very hard to grade well. Check that out. Isn't that bizarre? First appearance Topps. This is coming out of the Topps 2000 movie set. There are no 10s of it. And I would love to be the first group to pull and grade a 10 Lugia, but we only have 3 boxes. And from my experience, they are not guaranteed in a box. Can you believe that? Unless one of the boxes I got was an error box and I was supposed to get one and I didn't. But we opened a couple boxes of these already. And what we found was that usually there is one in the box, but there was actually a box where it was not in there. So it's not guaranteed. And there's a large number of these first appearance cards in each, in the total set. So check this out. Look, Hoot Hoot, Ladybug, Lugia, Elekid, Blossom, and Slowking. Obviously, none of these are going to be super popular, except for Lugia. So it's just Lugia and maybe Slowking to a lesser degree. So yeah, it's really cool. Love the set. $13,000 cheapest buy now. I'm always keeping my eye out if it goes cheaper. If it goes down to 4,000, I'll scoop it up and open it for my audience again. But I'm sitting on 3 of them because I don't know. I just really like them and think they're pretty rare. Topps Chrome Series 1 gives you a chance for the Sparkle Charizard. I would like to own one of those one day, but a reason we don't open more of this Topps Chrome Series 1 is I just feel like at $15,000, we might as well open like, I don't know, like Team Rocket, some fun with a bunch of cards in it. We could do Topps Chrome Series 1. I got to put some capital together to acquire a box, but I thought maybe the price would actually fall on Topps Chrome Series 1 because I felt like it was so dang expensive. It definitely has not. But the price hasn't also gone up very much either. And what I've seen in the slabs prices is that the Topps Chrome slabs have not been performing well. They've actually been falling in price pretty dramatically over time. I think that's because there was so much of it that was yet to be graded. And then at the same time, I suspect the Topps Chrome cards are getting 10s very easily. And so this is leading to an increase in the population very rapidly. So for now, the prices are low and falling. So this is another reason why I have not touched the Topps Chrome Series 1 for you guys. But yeah, I mean, the Charizard does well. Any of the Rainbow Sparkle cards or the Sparkle cards do very well. Chrome Series 2, you couldn't even find it. All right, so we're done talking about the booster box list. Did you guys like that? Let me know. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like the video. Why even say that? Yeah, I hate it when people tell me to do that. The chase cards, I talk about the best pulls in each of the boxes. This is good to go over because it helps you understand, like, why open a particular box? What are we trying to pull? Base set, obviously the Charizard, $250,000. I pointed this out, the PSA 9 at $24,000. Damn, dude, like that's like a times 10 difference between them, and it makes me very uncomfortable about owning a PSA 10 Charizard because I feel like the holy grailiness of it is basically one company's opinion about how big a white dot on the back of the card is. You know what I mean? So that really scares me, these price differentials, and makes me wonder, where the hell does this card actually get its value from other than the faith of the Pokemon card community that PSA is that good? But you look at when they were graded like 100 years ago, and so I'm very uncomfortable with the price of the PSA 10 Charizard. I'm very uncomfortable with that. Based on a limited Charizard, $12,000. You got the Fossil Dragonite, 4.8, falling way behind Jungle and even Team Rocket, because the Dragonite's 4.8. Team Rocket has some other good cards in it, like Dragonite, Dark Dragonite, Dark Blastoise, Dark Charizard. Dark Charizard's like a $4,000 card. So Fossil not looking as strong as the other two. Jungle's got that $13,000 Snorlax. It is such a banger. People pay a lot of money for that Snorlax, man. I actually saw him sell for $15,000 during the Logan Paul thing. Base set 2 Charizard, surprisingly expensive because he never grades 10. I would never own one. It's just a Charizard with the 2 on it. Who cares? Gym Heroes, Blaine's Moltres, actually more expensive than Blaine's Charizard. Look at that, 5 and 6. He's just really rare. He doesn't grade 10 very often. So yeah, 6,000. It's really weird, isn't it? But Gym Challenge, I think, overall has better pulls in it. So you have more potential pulls in Gym Challenge if we were to go over the entire set. Blaine's Charizard is just the top pull, I believe. Neogenesis, right, the Lugia, $80,000. Yeah, CGC 10 first edition Holo Lugia is going for as cheap as $14,000. Is it a mistake not to buy one? Will people regret? Will this be like that one time where people were super skeptical over the CGC 10s, and those CGC 10s tomorrow will be 30,000? I don't know. Neo Discovery Umbreon, the best pull, $15,000. I've seen him sell for 8. Revelations, Shining Gyarados, is like what I was saying. Introduction of the Shining Pokemon. Cheapest one was $20K. I thought that was kind of high. That's just buy it now. This might be an example where the buy it now is kind of out of whack with what people would actually pay for it. But I mean, look at the price of some of these other cards, like 15, 80, 15, 12, 21. So, Shining Gyarados is probably closer to 12 in my opinion. But the cheapest buy now is 20. Then we got Neo Destiny, Shining Charizard, 12. My opinion, very low. Very low. 12,000 is low. Charizard Reverse, 21,000. Love this card. Also think it's low. Love this card. Low pop, by the way. I think it's like pop 100. Expedition Mew Holo, very low pop, $10,000. Beautiful card. So many good cards in Expedition. We could make a whole list of them. Aquapolis Lugia is $11,000. It fell down to like 8,000 at one point. I bought mine when it was 11,000. Then it fell to like 8, and now it's back up to 11. Looks good. Skyrish Charizard, 19,000. I think that might be a little bit high. But let's see, if you wanted every one of these cards, and notice we did not put base set Shadowless on the list, which maybe we should, you would only need $500,000. But if we left out the big bazooka up there and tried this again, you would only need $250,000, a little more than $250,000 to own all these cards. Wowza. Pokemon cards, man. Here's the EX era. So I take a little creative what is the word? Artistic Artistic Liberty. I take a little artistic liberty picking out the best card from each set. I look for a combination of what's the most expensive card, what's the best looking card. So Ruby Sapphire, we got this Mewtwo EX for 2.2. Sandstorm is Typhlosion, 500. Dragon, EX Dragon has an ugly Charizard Hollow, whopping 3,000. I don't know why. I think he looks very dumb. Magma Aqua is Blaziken, 6.5. Yowza, does that look good. It is a good looking card, guys. And so rare, too. A truly rare card. Hidden Fates, Groudon, Hidden Legends, just 500. It's kind of odd looking. Same with this Typhlosion. Groudon and Typhlosion look very weird in these cards. Fire Red Leaf Green, one of the best looking Charizards in the entire hobby, 6.6 thousand. Team Rocket Returns, Torchic Gold Star, only one listed is 90. I call BS on that. It's probably more like 40. Yeah, it's probably like a 40K card. At best, probably 40K. Maybe lower than that, maybe 35. Here's EX Deoxys, Rayquaza Gold Star, 85,000. I call BS on that as well. We saw one sell recently, and I don't think it actually went for that much. I think it went for, did it go for like 40? I don't remember. Let's see. It's just that these cards are actually so rare that they can ask whatever they're going to ask for. You know what I mean? There's no constraint. They can just ask anything they want. Oh, okay, that's a Japanese one. What about an American English one? Nope. All right, never mind. I don't have data on a sold one. I take it back. We don't have data on a sold one. Quick, only 85. Go buy it. Remember for a while, one was for sale for like 28. I remember that. Emerald Melodic. Oh, man, that's a sexy card. It is such a good-looking card. You know what I should have? I should have a link over here that shows you the card somehow. Beautiful. 5.6. I've thought about buying it. Unseen Forces Umbreon, surprisingly extremely rare, only 5,000. Delta Species Groudon, 10,000, dude. Legend Maker Registeel, no data, 3K. Holland Phantoms Gyarados Gold Star. I've seen this card sell for like 13,000. I want one. If you want to buy me a birthday present because you like me so much, go get me a Gyarados Gold Star. I like that he's shiny, and I like that he's the most expensive Gyarados, basically. Ooh, here's one a little bit cheaper. You want me to just open my wallet and buy it while we're making this video? I could. I'm not going to. I have taxes to pay. Damn, dude. I just like that he's a shiny Pokemon, basically. I also like that he's very expensive. Pretty neat. Yeah, that red Gyarados looks so good. Makes me hungry in my belly. Crystal Guardians Charizard Reverse. This is like one of the most underpriced cards ever, dude. Look at this Crystal Guardians. He's like pop 50, I swear to God. Let's look it up. He is so cheap. Crystal Guardians, right? It is going to blow your mind how low pop this card is. Come on. Delta Species, he's an electric type. Isn't that cool? There it is. Not even 50. He's pop 49. So the pop 49, now you got to see what he looks like. Oh, not Gold Star. Crystal Guardians Charizard. Reverse. Remember, it's got to be reverse. Okay, here he is. $5,000. Oh, from Italy. Interesting. And then these are kind of more expensive. But take a look at this card. Wow, man. He's got like electricity coming off of him. The border is holographic. It doesn't show that in the picture. He is one of the coolest Charizards. And you can get one for 5K. Like, how do you explain that? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I really do like this card a lot. I own 3 of them as a result, and I attempted to just go out and buy that one, the next $5,000 one, because in my mind, how can a card be only pop 49 and be only $5,000, and it's one of the best looking Charizards from one of the lowest print? I mean, have you seen the price of a Crystal Guardians pack too? It's like not cheap, and he doesn't grade well either. Like you could try to grade him. Look, there's been a couple attempts. But look at how many 221 8s, 276 9s, only 49 10s. So when you really add that together, because some 8s you hope will grade 10, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, maybe it has a small chance. No, dude. So look at that. It's like a 1 in 10 odds almost. Can you imagine pulling 10 of those? How many packs you would have to go through? Like how many boxes of this stuff would you have to go through to pull 10? Easily underpriced. Dragon Frontiers Gold Star Zard will be the best Zard from this era. I own one myself. It is a bragging rights card. He has not performed very well as an investment, but I'm happy to just have him already in my collection and just sitting there waiting to go up in value one day. Black and red. How cool is that? Damn, dude. That is very cool. You know, there's all these people with these wild prices on them. Here, let's see if one sold recently. He's only pop 100, I think. Oh, whoa, look at that. August 2nd, that's a big deal. Now, look at that. That data was not available last time I worked on the Cardconomist report. That just sold. I remember I worked on the report on July 29th. This would sell a few days later for $28,000. Okay, I can no longer say that my Gold Star Charizard is doing poorly, because now I think I bought mine at like 22 or 23. Now he has officially gone up in price a little bit, and this number is already out of date. When we fill this box in here, it's going to be a bigger number. Power Keeper's Charizard Reverse for 8,000 makes no sense. He is one of the ugliest Charizards I've ever seen. He looks very dumb, very cartoonish, and yet he costs more than the Crystal Guardians Charizard. It makes no sense. All right, Diamond Pearl. So all this other, there's so much data here, guys. So there's these middle cards that nobody really knows very well. Platinum, you got Giratina, 5,000. Flying P. Oh, wait, hold on. Diamond Pearl. So Empoleon, 5,000. Lucario, 3,000. Charizard Hollow, 5,000. Darkrai, level X, 1.2. That's actually kind of cheap when you compare it to the rest of these, and Darkrai's popular. Leafeon, no data. Mewtwo, 2.8. And then the Stormfront Charizard Hollow is a Rita drawing of his original drawing. So it looks kind of really weird. Platinum Series, you got Platinum Base, Giratina level X, 5K. Flying Pikachu from Rising Rivals. That doesn't seem right, dude. 15K just seems like, I don't believe it. Probably more like a $5,000 card. Supreme Victors, Charizard level 10. I own 2 of these. 5K right now. I'm doing well on them. They're up. Arceus, Charizard Hollow, 2.5. He just okay looking. It looks very generic, actually. Jumping to Heart Gold, Soul Silver, no data, no data, no data. I didn't even know how to compile these. So I couldn't decide what the best card was. And there certainly weren't any examples for them for sale. Like for this Lugia, this is a union card. Do I include the top and the bottom? It's a 2-card piece? That seems like cheating, right? It seems kind of unfair. Maybe I just include one of the cards. But Call of Legends had a Shining Rayquaza at a whopping 17,000. So many good cards in Shining Legends. Call of Legends. Okay. There he is. Very fancy looking. Look how shiny. Zoom in for you a little more. There it is. See that? He's a cool card. 17,000 is a bit much. I feel like he competes with a lot of other cards. Black and White series, what you see a lot of variation here. But look at this Zekrom, only 500. Thundurus, only 170. That's pathetic. Victini, only 600. I mean, there's like XY era cards doing better than that. Next, Destiny's Shiny Hydreigon, 18. Dark Explorers, Groudon, 2,000. Now look at this, Dragons Exalted. You guys know I sell this. I sell Dragons Exalted. I noticed this right away. It was a very well-priced booster box with a really fancy Shining Rayquaza pull. This box is underpriced. Bounty Crossed, I chose Need Data. Plasma Storm, Shining Charizard from Plasma Storm. Very fancy looking card. If you don't recognize it, here it is. So he is one of those Shining Charizards. There it is. I don't know if I'd buy it. I think that it's a better idea to wait. But what you really take away from the card is the fine texturing on it. It's really nice texturing. I want to look at that Japanese one. What does this look like? It looks a bit different, doesn't it? Huh. Yeah, it looks smoother or something. Weird. Yeah, weird. Those cards look pretty different from each other, huh? So, yeah, Plasma Storm. It's an interesting set. It's got a chance for a really expensive Charizard, and it's not actually that expensive when you consider the Charizard. But how often does Charizard actually sell is my question. $7,000. That's Black and White. So, yeah, up to $14,000 for this. But how often did he sell? Shining Garchomp out of Plasma Freeze for 2.5. Plasma Blast has a Dialga for 1,200 that I could not find. Legendary Treasure Zekrom Gold, 7.75. I saw him. I think he looks ugly. Yeah, I don't care for him. The X and Y series is interesting to track. You got the Flashfire Charizard, 2.25. The base set need data. I think the Blastoise is the best card, but I couldn't find like price on it that made me feel confident, I guess. Furious Fist need data. We couldn't find out about the Lucario price. I don't think it's very good. Dialga Silver, we know 6.8. Really impressive. One of the most expensive cards from the entire time period. Unless you're counting like promos or trophies, Dialga comes out of a box and he's real expensive. Primal Clash, Primal Groudon, 1,000. Team Magma's Groudon, 2,000. Rayquaza from Roaring Skies, 14. Wow, 1,400, 1,400. And he's a very cheap box with a lot of great supporting cards. Ancient Origins, Rayquaza still, 745. Breakthrough is a Mewtwo at 682. Breakpoint is Gyarados at 400. Generations has a special Charizard, 634. Fates Collide apparently has a really expensive Alakazam, but I don't know how much I believe that price of 1,000 because I don't know. Let's see. Talking about the gold border one, right? So he's a fancy looking card. A lot of people don't appreciate him. Here he is. See how fancy he is? Now look, that's 900. 600, 680. I wonder if I got the wrong data or something. Is this English? That makes more sense. 680. I wonder maybe if these just got listed later. But let me check sold real fast. That piece of data might have been wrong. Look, 800, 800, 700, July 5th. So I think that data is going to be, I wrote it down as 1,000. Could I have just keyworded it wrong? Maybe, I don't know. I'm scared. Yeah, we'll leave it as it is. Gardevoir Gold 300 from Steam Siege, very nice. Evolution's Charizard Hollow 1.89. Used to be 6,000, and people really believed in that card because it was like impossible to grade at 10. I mean, thousands of tries would be made and only a few 10s would come out. But you know what's crazy? So many tries have been made that the actual population on this card has really gone up. So we go to Evolution's Charizard and look up the Charizard 11 Hollow. And what's fascinating is people thought he would be a rare card because it's so impossible to get him to grade 10. Turns out there were so many of those Charizards out there, and there were so many people willing to try to get him to grade 10 that he actually wasn't rare. Look at this. Evolution's 303,000 cards graded. That is mind-blowing. And here it is, Charizard Hollow. Now check this out. 18,000 attempts, and only 484 came out 10. Not to mention a lot of 8s too. So if you're trying to ratio that, that's a 11,219 plus 18,667. Every 30,000 cards, only 500 come out as a 10. And so that's sort of like, what would that be like? What would 500 over 29,000 come out to be like? Would it be like every 298 tries, 5 of them come out? Is that right? Is that the ratio? Something like that. Crazy, man. It's really wild. So, but despite that, the population is now at 484. So despite that, the population did explode. Because if I look on the back of my XY Evolutions Charizard, when I started, he was like pop 60. And to go from pop 60 to pop 484 is a massive jump. So despite, it's almost like he would be worth nothing if they were actually grading 10 all the time. But he's at least worth 1.89 because they never grade 10. Okay, Sun and Moon is really fun to look at. We got that Lily at 580, Mallow at 375, Charizard Rainbow from Burning Shadows at 3.1. That's a big one. So that's one of the best cards in the era, just like I predicted. And he has held on to that value because it's impossible to pull him as a 10 because of the cutting error. Sorry, I'm sitting on my foot. Been doing too much sitting. I've been sitting here for like 3 hours making this video, by the way. Mewtwo Alt from Shining Legends, bumping back up to 750. I really like that. I want that guy back in my collection. Crimson Invasion Luzamine, 475. Really not bad for considering it's a $190 box. And you got Gyarados, Luzamine, and Olivia. You can pull any of those. Excuse me. Ultra Prism Lily at 1,900 for some reason. I don't really get it. It's really expensive. Lucario for 255. Alicia and Celestial Storms at 1,000. Dragon Majesty way overpriced. Zinnia only 300. Lost Thunder Lugia going for almost 8. That's great. Team up once again, 2.3 on the Latios. Detective Pikachu, Charizard, only 60. Unbroken Bonds, Charizard Rainbow, 365. Misty Favor, Last Soul for 510. SV49, that's another story to talk about. He's down to $650. That's right. The card that people thought, oh, it doesn't matter how many there are, he's going to be expensive. He just goes down, down, down. He was 900, then he was 800, then he was 700. Now he's 650. And I'm telling you, I gave you guys a warning that Umbreon Altart from Evolving Skies should fall in price. And I've been wrong for a little while. Maybe all I needed was more time to be right. Because if this guy is finally coming down in price, maybe Umbreon is next. You know, remember, not only can you not, if you're just here, if you're just in it for money, and you just want to know where can I park my money in the collectibles hobby because it's going to go up in demand, not only can you not accept a loss, you can't even accept stagnation. Because if you had just put that money in the stock market, at least you would get dividends from it. So the fact that this, even if it was stagnant at $800, you'd still be losing money. You can't have that happen. And Cosmic's unfair because you just have this Arceus, Dialga, Palkia alternative art at 655. But what it doesn't show you is just how many great cards are in the set, all adding up to give it its value. Sword and Shield series, Marnie's 215, that's nothing. Sonya's 190, that's nothing. Darkness Ablaze Charizard at just 90. Oh my God, dude, it's pitiful. When he first came out, he was like 500, by the way. Yeah, you could sell that Charizard VMAX for 5. Pretty good, right? 5 hundies. Champions Path Charizard Rainbow, there's 14,000 of these now. $280. Vivid Voltage Pikachu, just 280. He once sold for like 2,500. Now he's 280. Shining Face Charizard, just 200. Nothing. Ballstas Tyranitar, 250. Chilling Rain Blaziken, respectable 400. Now there's that Umbreon, 950. Is he going to be the next SV49 Charizard going down, 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 down? Maybe. He's popped 7,000, by the way, if you didn't know that. Celebrations Charizard, 212. Fusion Strike, 485 in the Gengar. Brilliant Stars, 305. This guy never even had a chance. He was never popular. Astral Radiance, Machamp V-Alt, surprising 235. The Mewtwo is 90. Lost Origin Giratina, 705. But this just got a reprint. Lost Origin did. Will it stay at 705? Unlikely. Silver Tempest, 320 Lugia. And Crown Zenith, Golden Giratina, 200. So none of those are very old. And we'll see their prices change over time. I'm calling it Sword and Shield is the junk era, guys. It is the junk era. Let's see how much it costs to own one of all these, by the way. All these supposed chase cards. $5,400 to own a chase card from the entire Sword and Shield era. That's not very expensive. I don't know. If you spent $5,400 and showed it off on YouTube, I don't think it would perform very well. I think people would find it fascinating to look at, but I overall, I don't think it would perform very well. People would be like, yeah. You know what I mean? I've got that card. You got that card. Everyone's got that card. A card's got to be rare for people to want to look at it. All right, so there you go. There is one more list on this. How long is this video starting to become? An hour? Oh my God, we've been going that long? Holy. By the way, could you see the data? Or is my freaking face hiding it? Put myself over here like a good boy. Yeah, so I should have done that from the start. Top July sales is next. So I tracked the most expensive cards to sell so that you can know how to be a big shot and sell the most expensive cards in the hobby. Pay attention to this row here. Buy it now, best offer, buy it now, item removed, auction. So this is the most expensive item only for July, not June, not August. Best offer, EX Deoxys Gold Star, PSA 10, 40,000. Who knows what the offer and the accepted offer was. Cardos Vending Charizard Prism. How cool is this? Have you seen this card? Such a cool card, dude. I own one of these at $10,000, and they're actually pretty rare. So I'm not surprised it's sold. And here he is. God, he is beautiful, dude. One of my favorite cards. Very low pop, and just looks fantastic. Has the old Game Boy artwork. But let's just talk about these. So you can see the numbers going down, 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 down. You want to know how much this costs, by the way? Let's take all of them. You ready? That's $560,000, more than $500,000 in card sales. Only broken down to the 5,000s, by the way. Think about that for a minute, because in my opinion, there's many more card sales between $100 and $5,000 than there is between $5,000 and $40,000. You know, these big cards don't move very often. The little cards move like crazy. So, man, that Pokemon card market's crazy. But yeah, I mean, Cardhouse vending Charizard Prism, Skyrish Charizard Holo going for 15K best offer. Based on Unlimited Charizard going for 15K. Skyrish Charizard, Neo Destiny Charizard, buy it now, 15K. Ah, look at that. Shining Charizard. Design Contest Illusions Zoroark, 3rd grade. Look at that, 15,000. Some 3rd grader drew some freaking Zoroark, and now it's worth like a bazillion. There it is. Who's buying this? It's cool, I guess. Yeah, it's 2010 wasn't even that long ago. Who's spending 15 on that? I don't know. It doesn't tickle my fancy, these like illustration cards. Neo Genesis Slowking, 13,000. Item removed. Maybe it was private sale. Pikachu Anniversary Festa shows up a bunch. Look, 1, 2, 3. And he's all high up on this list. And here's what he looks like. I got no clue what this card is. He must have been some promo or something. There he is. 2016 means he's from the XY era. Pokemon card game Anniversary Festa since 1996. I don't know, man. Not for me, that's for sure. It's just Pikachu. I get tired of looking at Pikachu. Do you guys ever get tired of him? I get like exhausted. But let's see what's all selling. Here's a Groudon Gold Star from EX Delta Species for 13. There's that Stormfront Charizard just sold for 12.6. Torterra Level X Pop 4. That's cool. This is a Black Star promo. I've had really good success selling Black Star promo cards that were only like Pop 10 or something like that. He just sold this for 12.5. That's so cool. Low pop matters. Low pop matters. People said, why would I pay for your goofy Black Star card, which doesn't look that impressive? And I go, I'm telling you, you can get old booster boxes, but these old promo cards, they're hard to come across sometimes. Nobody saved them. Mysterious Mounts Charizard. I really want this card. I want this card so bad. I want all these old WotC era, but they weren't WotC back then for Japan, right? They were just printing it themselves. First edition. Look at this. Oh my God, that's sexy. I want those cards. You know why? Because they're also actually pretty rare. So there's some old Japanese cards that are pretty rare, like Shining Tyranitar Japanese. Oh my God, he's so good looking and so rare. Neo 3 Gyarados goes for 11K, right? Charizard VMAX. This is the regular artwork, but it's the trophy card. There it is. Recognize it? So that's the trophy card. Went for 11K. Yep. Pretty good. What we got? Aloha Friends. I think that's similar to like the Battle Day Lily, but it's like Aloha Friends instead. Alola. Neo Destiny Shining Charizard goes for 10. These are auctioned, by the way. You got to pay attention to the auction ones because I feel like they're more reflective of what people are immediately willing to pay for something. But you can expect to sell things more and buy it now than auction. Auction forces people to pay immediately, you know. So Shining Charizard going for 10. That's not much. Another Illustrator contest. This time it's a Pikachu. A lot of these Illustrator cards. Oh, no picture of them. Sorry. Rocket Returns Mudkip goes for best offer 10,000. Maybe he went actually for 8.5. I don't know. There's a Aquapolis Lugia selling for 9.5. Mario Pikachu shows up a couple times, I think. So he's a more expensive card. What else is interesting? This Lily 7.7. Buy it now. Collection Moon Lily. Maybe one of you guys can explain what the hell this is. This isn't the base set Lily, is it? Tell me this is some sort of prize or something, right? Collection Moon, 2016 Collection Moon. What's up with that? That's 7.6 thousand. That's doesn't even make sense to me. Is that actually just base set Sun and Moon? Because if that's so, I'm gonna put it out there that I think the base set English one is underpriced. Base set first Poliwrath 7.5. The Munch Scream promos. That's that Scream. You know what I'm talking about? Dragon Frontiers Mew Gold. Delta Species Pikachu. This is some kind of promo. How would you guys like it if I released this list to you? Would you like that? Look at this. Oh, man, that's cute. Would you like it if I released this list? So I was thinking about making this list available to my members on the channel. What do you guys think of that? Mimikyu. Some Mario. Look at this. Like 4 in a row. Is this a sign that people are getting rid of their Mario Pikachus? Or is it a sign that the market wants them really bad? I don't know. So 4 of them, and they all sold about 7,000. Tons of stuff here. Yeah, I don't know if I want to keep going because we're out of time, man. We've been, look at this mud kit, went for 6.6 in auction. That's great. I think mine went for 3.8 in auction when I bought mine, and that was last year. Here's another Mario Pikachu. Erica's Invitation, SAR, likely fake. Sky Splitting Charisma Lycia. To Have Seen the Battle. This is Burning Shadows Charizard. Went for 5.2 best offer. Yeah, tell me what you think, guys. Would it be fun if I released this list and you could just like click through it for fun and see what all the cool cards were? I'm going to make this up again at the end of August and release this video again at August, okay? And we won't have to go through all the details the way we did here. We'll just take a look at how things have changed over time. But I can also add new data to the list. So if you think something was missing that really should be there, like poker decks, for example, could be one thing. We can always add more stuff to the list that you think is super relevant to the hobby. And maybe I can hire somebody to help me fill the list as well, sort of like an accountant's bookkeeper or something like that. That's the Cardconomist report. Tell me if you liked the video. Don't forget to share the video with other people who you think would benefit from seeing all this information. And I will see you guys next month for this kind of video. See you later, everybody.